Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Naomi, and today I want to share with you a really quick, creative core strengthening practice that you can do to just wake up your core muscles, but in a way that you maybe have never done before. Because, we're really familiar with all of that plank core work and all those sit-ups, all that stuff that feels pretty good and definitely activates our core, but at the same time might feel a little bit old news, boring, and I like the idea of doing core work that is exciting and interesting. So I hope you'll stick around for just a few minutes of creative core adventures. So you will need a block, okay? If you don't have a block, you can substitute anything that, like a book, anything that will work like a block. But let's start on your back. So come to lie on your back with your knees bent. If you want something underneath your back for a little bit more soft support, you can have that as well, okay? But you're going to take the block wherever you like, so it can be on the longest or on the shortest, but take the block, place it on your right knee, and place your right hand on your right knee also. Okay, now lift both of your feet away from the floor so that your knees are about in line with your hips. Okay, now all you're going to do, okay, is bend your left elbow, sort of cactus style, okay? And then extend your left leg straight out and your left arm straight up. But press your hand into the block, right? And the block like you resist. Okay, then bend your elbow and your knee back in. Now repeat it. Stretch your leg, stretch your arm. Keep pushing your hand into the block, bring it back in. One more time, just like this. Press your hand into the block and extend your leg and arm. Bring it back in. Now you're going to add. So you're going to extend your leg and your arm and your right leg. Keep pushing your hand into the block and then bend them all back in. Extend both legs, push your right hand into the block and then bend it all back in. A few more times. Extend both legs, push your hand into the block and then bend back in. Extend your left arm and both legs and then bend your knees back in. Last time, extend your arm and both legs and then bend your knees back in. Put your feet on the floor. You're going to switch to the other side. Just place the block on your left knee. Lift your feet away from the floor. And remember, what's really important here is that you're actively resisting. Not only pushing your hand into the block, but actually pushing your leg into the block too. Okay, so you have that good active resistance, and that without doing anything else is going to engage your core muscles. So bonus, right? But then bend your right elbow like a cactus and just prep by extending your right leg and your right arm while resisting with your left hand into the block, and then bend them both back in. Okay, 2 more times. Extend your right leg and your right arm. Bend them both back in. Extend your right leg and your right arm. Keep resisting with your left hand. Bring them back in. Now you're going to do both legs and your arm. So extend both legs, reach your right arm straight back, bend back in. Keep pressing your hand into the block. Extend both legs and your arm. Bend back in. Extend both legs and your arm. Bend back in. 2 more times. Extend your legs and your arm. Bend it back in. And then last time, extend both legs. Press your hand into the block. Push your leg into the block. Bend back in. Whew, put your feet on the floor. And then roll to your side, and we're actually going to do a really similar thing standing, okay? Now keep in mind, if you really don't have a block, you can do this without a block. The benefit of the block is it gives you just a little bit more resistance, whereas if you're just pushing your hand into your leg, you're not going to get quite as much resistance, so a little bit less access to your core, but you can still do it. You can still try. So, if you don't have a block, don't let that stop you, okay? But come up to stand. Okay, coming up to stand. Bend both of your knees, chair pose style. Okay, place the block on your right thigh, and then all you're going to do here, so again, elbow is bent if your knees are bent. Okay, you're going to lift your left heel, and then extend your left leg back, press your hand into the block, and straighten your leg. That'd be your right leg. And then bend everything back into chair. Okay, now repeat it. Push your right hand into your block, extend back through your leg and through your arm, and then bend them back in. Chair pose. Okay, push your hand into the block, extend, both legs, both arms, and then bend back in. Let's do it 2 more times. Press out, extend through your leg and your arm. Give yourself good resistance. Bring it back in. Last time. Extend back your leg and your arm, and then bend them both back in. And then come up to stand before you go to the other side, because breaks are healthy, right? So you're going to place the block on your left thigh, bend both knees, and notice I am pushing my hand into this block, right? So it's not sort of passive like hanging out. I am pushing actively. So my left arm is working too. Bend your right elbow cactus style. Lift your right heel up just to prep. Okay, and then as you extend your right leg back and your right arm forward, push your hand into the block and resist a little bit. So your hand goes into the block and your leg is pushing into the block too. And then bend back in, chair pose. Repeat it. Extend out. So reach with your right leg, reach with your right arm, straighten the left, bring it back in. Keep resisting, hand into leg, reach out, and come back in. A few more times. Extend out, right leg out, right arm forward, and then back in. Last time, extend back with your right leg, reach with your right arm, resist with the left, and then bring it back in. And then stand up, take a seat, take a load off. Okay, so hopefully you can actually see how not only what you're doing on your back, but then what you're doing standing are the exact same action. So you can take what you're doing on your back, that resistance with your hand into your leg, that extension out, to find the same actions moving into a pose like Warrior 3, which is actually a very familiar pose, just doing it with a slight tweak, doing it in a slightly different way, which is really fun, right? And really exciting, okay? So hopefully you felt some really good connection to your core, some really good abdominal action, and also maybe sort of got your brain involved. Maybe you got some, mental juices going as you worked in a slightly different way. Okay, so if you did like this, please let me know in the comments below if you really enjoyed this practice. If there are things you didn't understand, you can always leave that in the comments below too. And if you really dug this practice, I'm going to be leading a week of creative core work. It's going to be a Connect with Your Core challenge starting this coming Monday. Okay, so that'll be really soon. If you want to join in, there's a link in the description below, and all you have to do is click on the link and you will join in and you'll be all set to do daily core work with me just like this, really fun, really creative stuff every single day for a week to start waking up your core in really fun, really new, really creative and different ways. So I hope you'll join me for the Connect with Your Core challenge that starts next week. And hopefully I'll see you on the mat then. If not, I hope to see you back on the mat here again really soon. All right, until then, bye.